Viewer discretion is advised. In the United States, the illegal drug trade is estimated to be a $100 billion a year industry. From the drug dealers, to the drug addicts, to law enforcement officials who try to put a stop to it, we take you inside the American drug game. Virginia Beach is another one of my summertime lucrative spots. In the summertime, this place is crawling with tourists who are looking to buy drugs. I have people that I send into the Virginia Beach area during the peak tourist season. I have my foot soldiers come in from the surrounding areas to help with all the sales that come pouring in. I also have people who work at these hotels and the restaurants who point people in my direction. In Virginia Beach, you'll get all different types of tourists, but I only deal with the ones who have money to burn. I don't have my people standing on street corners waiting for people to come to them. We go to the location, we make the deal, and then we're gone. I have the same people I deal with year after year. I have the same people working for me, and I have the same customers that keep coming back. The only time I'll deal with somebody new is if they're connected to somebody, one of my normal clients, who I've been dealing with for years. Somebody who's been buying a lot of product off me. And when they show up, I'll tell my regular customer, make sure he keeps his friend outside. They always comply. These people know they have nothing to worry about when they're dealing with me, as long as they follow the rules. And it's almost like any other business. The businessman has something to sell, and the customer wants to buy. And these customers are very loyal to me. They know they don't have to worry about getting bad product or getting shorted on some type of deal. They know I'm in the business of keeping my customers happy. And that's why these people keep coming back year after year. And everybody in the Virginia Beach area knows when you want quality, there's only one place to go. I was a sheriff's officer working in a county far from Virginia Beach. The Virginia Beach Police Department was looking for younger looking officers who were not connected to the Virginia Beach area. They were looking for officers to work undercover and conduct narcotics investigations. They were specifically looking for officers who had absolutely no connection to the Virginia Beach area because this was a highly classified undercover operation. They didn't want the special operation compromised because of an officer who had some type of connection to this area. They needed fresh-looking faces to pose as drug buyers. They wanted officers to go in dressed undercover as tourists who were just looking to buy drugs. I put my name down as someone who would be interested in working on the operation, and a few weeks later I got a call to come in for an interview, and I was offered the position. A typical day for me would be to meet in a predetermined location. I would meet up with my operations supervisor. He would supply me with the marked currency that I needed to buy the drugs. In the beginning, I would be out in Virginia Beach, walking around. I was on my own, just looking to buy drugs anywhere I could. In the beginning, when I was out on my own, I was having difficulty buying drugs, so my operations supervisor partnered me up with an undercover female officer. When I would go out with the undercover female officer who posed as my girlfriend, it was a lot easier to buy drugs. It was like having the female with me kind of made these drug dealers put their guard down a little bit more. I was having people who would sell to me who wouldn't sell to me the first time when I was by myself. But when I would show up and I had the female officer with me, they were all game. The objective became to try and build a case against a group of individuals who were connected to a gang who was supplying the Virginia Beach area with illegal narcotics. We were making a lot of drug buys before we even started making any arrests. It was probably about a month of us making buys before we started making any arrests at all. Then we were making arrests every day. We had a team of officers who were set up in a unmarked van who would be set up in the area, and when we would make the deal, they would be able to hear us on a wire, and once the deal was made, they would swoop in and make the arrest. And these guys never saw it coming. Once the deal was made, these undercover officers dressed in plain clothes would come running around the corner to take down the dealer. I worked on this operation for several months, and we made a ton of arrests. But we had trouble connecting any of these guys to the gang that we were starting to target. A few of these guys made bail and skipped town. Unfortunately, in a tourist town like Virginia Beach, you'll have tourists who will come here looking to buy drugs, and you'll have dealers who will come into the area, especially during the peak summer season time, to just flood the area and sell to these tourists. And when these dealers are caught, a lot of times they leave the area and are never seen or heard from again.
I lived in the Virginia Beach area. I grew up outside of Virginia Beach, but when I went off to college, I lived in the area. One summer, I got a job as a lifeguard at the beach. I was like any other typical college kid who would, party. But that summer is when I took it over the line and I went too far with it. I was working at the beach one day and I saw this girl who was on the beach with her friends. She was attractive and she caught my attention, so I went over and I started talking to her. She ended up inviting me to a party that her and her friends were having at this beach house that they were staying at. So I go to the party and I meet up with the girl. Everything is going fine and we're talking and having a good time, and then she asked me if I want to do some coke. I had never tried cocaine before, but I was really into this girl, so I decided to try it. That summer, I hung out with this girl a lot, and we partied quite a bit. And every time we would hang out and party, she always wanted me to do a couple lines of cocaine with her. So that went on throughout the summer, and it came to be the end of summer, and this girl ends up going back to where she's from. And by then, I had become a full-blown cocaine addict. I just wanted to party all the time. And when I say party, I guess I really mean do cocaine. I would always use the party atmosphere as just an excuse to get high, as an excuse to use coke. It got out of control. I was just using all the time, buying from whoever I could, and I ended up buying some cocaine off of an undercover cop and was arrested and went to jail. And it seemed like my whole life was just coming crashing down. When I went to court, I was ordered by the judge to go into a drug rehab program, and I had to pay a fine. The judge told me if I ever got another drug charge that I was definitely going away for a long time. As stupid as it sounds, my life was completely flipped over because of this girl that I was with at a beach party. Because of some girl that I was trying to get with, who I was trying to impress, who was nothing more than a cokehead. And as far as that girl goes, I never saw her again. She came into my life, destroyed everything, and then was gone. Just like that.
I have a pretty good racket in Virginia Beach. I even had it set up once where I had my people acting as pizza delivery guys. They would deliver drugs into pizza boxes. They would dress up like the pizza delivery guy. We'd slap a logo on the side of their car and made it look real legit. And we were in business. The cops never suspected a thing. My guy looks like just some regular pizza delivery guy. Except he wasn't delivering pizza. He was delivering weed, coke, or whatever they ordered. At one point, an actual pizzeria was up for sale in the Virginia Beach area. So I decided why not and took it another step further. I had the cash flow coming in from the Virginia Beach area, so I said why the hell not? So I set up shop at the pizzeria. We were delivering pizzas and drugs at the same time. And at this point it was getting even better. We had designed this pizza box where we could actually stash the drugs inside the box. But when you open the box, you would only see the pizza. It was a brilliant idea, because if one of my guys got pulled over by the cops and they got suspicious, you could just open up the pizza box and you wouldn't see anything but the pizza. That worked out pretty good for a few years, but then that came to a stop. I had this guy who was working for me. He was acting as a pizza delivery guy / drug runner. He was a good dude, but he got mixed up with this girl who just was bad news. This girl gets pissed off at him about God knows what. So to get back at him, she drops a dime on him. She called the police and had him set up. Now I have to put some of the blame on this guy that I had working for me, because this girl should not have known what this guy was up to. This girl should not have known that this guy was running drugs. But at the same time, she didn't have to be a snitch either. So this guy gets sent on a delivery, and on his way to make the deal, he gets pulled over by the cops. As soon as they pull him over, they pull him out of the car, they grab the pizza box and start ripping it apart. They find the drugs in the pizza box, and he gets arrested. But I only hire solid dudes. So my boy keeps his mouth shut. He tells the cops the drugs are his. Luckily, it was just a small amount of weed he was delivering, so it wasn't a major charge. I got my boy the best lawyer in the state of Virginia, and we got the charge dismissed on a technicality. These local cops that arrested him had no idea that this dude was working for a boss like me. A boss who can make things like bullshit charges disappear.